Hi, I'm your host, Marlo Lemon, and you're listening to Wild Voice, the podcast where I take this voice of mine and share my wild journey with you. Being widowed at 34 with a 15-month-old, most would see as life ending. And instead, I alchemized it and put life back together, and it became more beautiful and fulfilling than I could have ever imagined. Through this life shift of mine, I realized who I am and what I'm here to do. I'm an intuitive energy healer, and sharing how I view the world is how I help you upgrade your life and alchemize your journey into magic. From day one, I wanted to share my journey, call it intuition, but I knew it was going to do more good out in the world than keeping it to myself. So when I say I've mastered life, that doesn't mean I'm perfect or that life is. I mean, I've mastered the concept of life, and I want to share that with you. Hello, everyone. Today's episode, I want to talk to you about manifesting. As that word even came out of my mouth, it even felt cliche. A spiritual energy healer talking to you about the magic of creating what you can't see or feel. Just trust me, believe it, and it will just appear. Psych! I don't even believe that, so I'm guessing you don't either. I want to explain to you my understanding of manifesting and 5 tools you can start using today to get those manifesting wheels in motion. So let's start with, what is manifestation? The actual definition is the action or fact of showing an abstract idea. Well, to me, it's not so abstract if we can trace back how we got there, right? But don't get me wrong, I am a sucker for abstract ideas. I think my brain itself can be categorized as abstract. But for the sake of getting your brain on board with what your soul came to this episode to learn more about, let's break it down. Our brains like to see actuals, like 1 + 1 = 2. And a lot of what makes up manifestations, we don't always see how we're going to get there, and they don't necessarily make sense. All we know is there is a desire and an end result. But how do we get clear on an action plan for the in-between? In my experience, the key to understanding manifestation is knowing the slew of things we have to do to get our thought process in alignment, our perspectives, and our physical actions to support it all. What this does is align us for the thing we are wanting to manifest, so it has a direct shot to reach us. So 1, get clear on what you're wanting to manifest. Then, attach some feelings associated to it. This will also help you get clear and clarity on what it is you're wanting to feel and create. So for example, let's say I want to manifest my dream house. What are some feelings that would give me to have my dream house? Safety, protection, comfort, expansion, and family. 2, find where this feeling already lives. Consider it like grocery shopping. We've gone in with our list, and now we're finding where everything is that we want. It could be safety from a relationship, feeling protected by a mentor, expansion in our vocation. By finding where this already exists, we're getting our brain on board that the thing we want, we actually already have. And once we see where it is, we can manipulate the energy in a good way and choose where we want it to shift and show up instead. A lot of us have never been taught we have that divine right to choose what and where we want energy to show up for us. So to talk a little bit more about energy for a second, the energy this exudes is an energy of abundance opposed to lack, an empowerment instead of hope. And this is key to have on our field when we want to manifest. If we're exuding lack, we will not only get more of that, but think of that really clingy, needy person we've all had an experience with. Does that make you want to hang out with that person more or less? So think of your manifestation as a person. Is what you're exuding drawing them in or pushing them away? 3, the universe gives us what we have the tools to handle. So if we're wanting our dream house to present itself, it's probably worth checking in to see if we have the tools to maintain that energy. This will help with that lovely timeline piece and patience. This specific step has been crucial to my patience and understanding of the timing and why things happen the way they do. To know where you're at here, I want to give you a question to ask. Now, you don't have to have fancy intuition, although we all have it. But if you're not sure if you are ready to start utilizing yours, or if yours is working or not, which it is, I want you to ask yourself and just listen to what you hear. Do I have the tools to maintain this fill in the blank with your manifestation? And if the answer is no, your next question is, what is the healing skill set, knowledge, experience that will get me there? Just you integrating this thought process, even if you don't solve a damn thing, uplevels your frequency. And can you guess the frequency of a dream house or any manifestation for that reason is going to be high. So the higher we get our frequency, the better. And these are certain tricks and tips that are going to get that up leveled. 4, embodying the persona. What is the persona of the person that has what you are manifesting? Is it someone who values unique ways of doing things? Is creative? Has strong willpower and work ethic? Is it someone who's ever evolving in their vocation? Or maybe someone who knows they've put in the work and feels deserving? With this in mind, I want you to integrate a new habit each week, let's say, to align you with that persona. Could it be that that person that has their own dream house wakes up and is grateful for what they have? Maybe they pour love into those that support them, because that's part of the reason of how they've gotten where they are. Maybe they make this world a better place by just showing up with integrity. Or how about takes responsibility for the life they live and their part in continuing to grow? Adding in a habit or acknowledgement to your day is a game changer. You are embodying what it feels like to live that life, to own that manifestation. Have you ever heard of like fake it till you make it? We all have, right? This is the idea, but not from a place of disconnect, but intentionally, this is what feels right to my soul. And I'm going to get to the physical acts and get those in motion to get the energy to follow. Now, number 5. Now, this is one I learn more about and love each time I integrate it more. Neutralizing emotions. Now, that seems kind of weird. And most of the time when I tell someone about this, even in sessions for the first time, neutralizing emotions, immediately people think it's kind of like robot mode. And that is so far from it. So to neutralize emotions is to see things as equally good and bad. Therefore, it's neutral. Have you ever had that feeling of being in a really high high or a really low low? Now, using the example of a high high, that feels great for the moment, right? But most of the time, there's something that brings that crash down. Energy is always in balance. So to catch the drop in one direction or another, neutralize it yourself before the universe does it for you. So if you're really excited about something and you hang out there in that space, the universe has to balance you out. So something will happen to pull you back into reality. And if you're really low about something, the universe will pull something in to pull you back up. The more exhausting part I have found is the emotional roller coaster this takes us on. So to avoid the universe stepping in to help balance you out, just balance it yourself. So if you're really excited about your dream house, come up with a reason to bring the emotion back down. Maybe the financial responsibility could bring more stress. Maybe the adjusting to a new environment and routine sounds like a lot of work. The key here is to not go too far in one direction or the other. It's a game to play and get better with over time. It doesn't need perfection, but I will say the more you practice it, the easier it gets. And that neutral feeling is actually much more gratifying and fulfilling than those high highs or their low lows. Okay, so you have just gone on a manifestation crash course. So let this info sink in, play with it where it applies to your life, and know, just taking the time to listen to a new way of doing things is a boost in itself. I can't wait to hear what you create. Thanks so much for being here. Please rate, like, share, and review so we can stay connected and continue this magical journey together.